Hi guys, this is Atco. I've got these little models of jukeboxes, and I've got quite a few of them around my game room, some down in my shop. Like I said, I got 3 of them now, and one of them I got lately, and I need an iPod for each one. Well, I found this one. I got this one on Craigslist. It was an 80 gigabyte for 70 bucks. Guy said it works great, he just didn't need it anymore. Alright, well, I thought that's not a bad price. I think they seem to be going a little closer to 100 on eBay. So I met the guy somewhere and got it and looked at it the best you can. It seemed to be working. I took it home. Alright, when I wanted to put songs on it, after I got to about 200 songs or so, I started getting errors. So I thought, well, when you get to 200 it works fine, but right after that it starts to skip, and after just a few songs, even that, it just dies. Alright, so obviously I got a bad hard drive, and I got kind of ripped off on this iPod off Craigslist. So what should I do? So I got on eBay, and sure enough, there was you get a brand new one for, was it 37 bucks, including shipping. Well, I'd rather put the extra 35 bucks into what I already paid for and see if I can get this thing working. So I got it. Alright, it came in. Now the question is, how do I fix a hard drive out of an iPod? So I'll show you what I did to get this thing back on shape again. Okay, well, here's my iPod. Not exactly sure how this is going to go because I've never worked on one of these before. So I know they make some tools for the Apple iPods, but I don't have any of those and didn't order those. So I figured, I've seen a few people do little knives or X-Acto knives, some long little screwdrivers. I got all that stuff, so let me take what I've got and let's see how things go. Now the one thing I can see is the top and the bottom, they're like pressed into each other. There's some little clips in there that holds the sides in real good. There's no screws to take the top and the bottom apart. Probably wasn't meant to be repaired other than going into Apple. But it is just pressed into each other, so what you can do is you look at the sides where the two cases are into each other. They're in really tight. So you get in and kind of dig in a little bit with a very thin knife. I was using a couple of my X-Acto knives. And as soon as you can start get something that's sharp that you can get right between the top and the bottom of the cases, once you get into that just a little bit, you can start trying to prime up a little bit. Now, I've been told once you get up a little bit, if you can move down, you can hit one of those clips and break it from connecting to the other case. I don't really know how they do that because you can't see the clips. So what I did, and when I look around these people that have been working on these things, it looks like more than anything it is just takes time. You go around real close, all around the sides of the iPod, and try to get that slower and slower from the two parts of the cases. Now if you look at mine, you can see I've been getting into it, but also I've been kind of boogering up the case a little bit. I don't know how you can get away from that thing, but anyways, I'm not too concerned about it right now. I don't know how else I'm going to get out otherwise than doing that. And I thought if I can prime that thing out enough that I can get them between, and I'll worry about if I can fix this case a little better after. But right now, I just want to see if I can get these two parts together. As I was doing that and using a little screwdriver, I did this for easily a half hour and tried to take my time so that I didn't damage any more than I was doing to the case. And sure enough, eventually it kept coming up higher and higher from the bottom, and I was able to just pull it right out. Okay, once I did, then you look on from the top and the bottom. There's two ribbon cables that connect from the top to the bottom. The one is to the electronics and where the hard drive, and the connection is long enough that you can still work between both of the cases without having to disconnect those. But the other one, the smaller one, is the ribbon cable for the battery. Now the battery is kept in one side of the case, and you don't really need much else from the bottom of the case, so I just pulled the ribbon cable off of the top of the ribbon cable. I just pulled that out from the ribbon jack from the top part of the case, and that just slides right out. Once you do that, you can turn the one side of the top over so that you can have both out without worrying about the ribbon being in the way. Once you do that, from the top where it's upside down, you can see there's your hard drive. There's nothing to hold it there, so you can just pull it up and slide it down to the back, and you'll see there is another big ribbon cable between the electronics and the hard drive. So to get that ribbon out, it pulls out relatively easy, but so do those ribbons. They're a little delicate, so you want to be careful that you're not breaking the ribbon cable. So I just used some long needle nose pliers and just tried to be careful just to pull it out, and actually that did pull out pretty easy once I did. And at that point my old hard drive is out, the electronics and the case. Alright, so here's my new hard drive, my 80 gigabyte hard drive, and just slide it back into the case just like the other one was connected before, and that slided right into the case. Once you do, before you put your hard drive back into the case, there's some, you'll see the old one had some rubber spacers on there, and I think that's just to keep the hard drive from moving around the case. Slide those back on and run it down into the case, and you're almost ready to put them back together. But there's a few things I had to do where I had kind of boogered up that bottom case, and you see those clips. There's one of those clips there on the side. Now again, there's 4 on each side, and while I was trying to prime up the top, that pulled up the clip on, I think, a couple of them. So the first thing you want to do is pull that back down. Then to get the whole side of the case back in shape again, since I had primed that with a screwdriver, so I just took my duck nose pliers, and I also had a really small pair of pliers, and just straightened out that case back in shape. And it looked pretty good. I think that might work out okay. The only thing I have to do now is get the case back on top. Again, that's the only ribbon I had to worry about now was the one that connects the battery, and that's just slided right back in again. At that point, I put the two pieces together and just pushed it by my hand, and those just kind of slipped back in shape again, and actually it looked pretty good. Alright, at that point, let's turn it on and see what happens. So first thing I saw was that iTunes coming up says that you need to recover your hard drive. Well, that's good side, because that meant it could see the hard drive. It's not working yet, but it's ready to go. Great, so I just took my cable from the iPod to my PC and turned it on again. iTunes came right up and said that, do you want to recover the hard drive? I said yes, and it finished that thing up. It said it's ready to go. Nothing on it, so first thing I did was started copying some files, and I copied about 1,000 files before I stopped. That was maybe 2 hours of copying. I thought, haven't had any errors, no problems at all, everything's going fast. I then disconnected it from PC, went upstairs, stuck it into one of my iJuke jukeboxes, turned it on, and started letting it play the songs. And I used that for an hour or two with not a problem at all. It was working great, and I think we got that thing back in shape. Well, guys, overall, everything went okay. But when you buy something on Craigslist, you know, you try to catch you can if everything is okay, test it if you can. But for most people, it's looked at as is, and once in a while you're going to get caught. And I Don't know for sure if the guy who had this before knew that there was a bad hard drive in there or not, but oh well, at least it turned out that when everything was working again, and I probably had about the price of what the value of that iPod is at this point, and with a brand new hard drive, and actually the battery holds real well, so it's in pretty good shape iPod right now. So I got it, and it's now working a lot in my game room. So that's what I've been up to lately, and I hope you guys are having a good New Year's. And for now, this is Atco, signing off.